everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Veil Tarot and Astrology. My name is Candice Marie. I'll be your astrologer this week. Thank you guys for joining me and happy Tuesday. Hope your week is off to a great start. I'm back at it with another video today and we're going to be taking a look at Uranus going direct in the sign of Taurus. I'm going to talk to you guys all about what this means and how it's going to be shaking things up for us in this next couple of weeks. If you guys like my content and you want to see more of it, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the bell button below to be alerted as to when I have new videos coming out. I'm here every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday using tarot and astrology to make sense of what's going on in the cosmos. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I love reading your guys' comments. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video and consider letting me know what major shakeups are happening for you, what unexpected things are taking place in the Taurus area of your chart. How is it impacting you? I'd love to hear from you guys. All right, so January 30th is when we're going to have Uranus go direct. Obviously, this is going to be impacting my Taurus sun, moon, and risings, especially if you have anything around 21 to 25 degrees. Personal planets in Taurus, as well as Aquarius risings as your chart ruler is waking up. Now, right after the new moon in Aquarius, we're going to have Uranus go direct. So if you guys saw that video where I talked about things kind of peaking in regards to what unexpected curveballs are coming our way, we know that when a planet goes direct, there is major themes that happen collectively regarding that particular planet. And this will be happening at 23 degrees. So it's got a double dose of Aquarius energy for those of you guys who follow degree theory. Now here's my handy dandy book. I love to read this to you guys. I know this one's like out of print, it's hard to find. So I'll be sharing with you some of my thoughts on the 23 degrees. So a lot of Aquarian energy in the sky. You know, Uranus is the modern day ruler of Aquarius right after an Aquarius new moon that is ruled by Uranus. And if you notice, when it goes direct on January 30th, the moon is coming into a square. So it's really kicking off that new moon with, okay, you really want to focus on change in the future. You want some new bright beginning. You have to be willing to make moves. Uranus and Taurus is really about shifting things revolving around our resources, our planet, money, food, anything in regards to our values or possessions. And 23 degrees is a bit of a wild degree. 23 and 11 both correlate to Aquarius, and the sun will be at 11, thankfully trine Jupiter. So whatever changes we're making, I think is going to be really beneficial for traveling, education, and communication. But still, nevertheless, I think it's going to rock, rattle, and roll. Now, 23 degrees correlates well to astrology. So astrology, astrologers, anything astrological is connected to 23. Unfortunately, as well as divorces, separations, anything in regards to freeing yourself or liberating yourself from relationships. We also see themes like explosions, missiles, bombs, noises, loud sounds, pilots, planes, things on board, electricity, electricians, electrical engineering, lightning, thunder, heights, jumping from heights, tall buildings, rapidly, speed, promptly, racing, anything in regards to speed picking up, genius or intelligent people, inventions, everything that's new, modern, or the latest style, foreign bodies, organisms, or of artificial origin. People who experience nervous tension, stress, and causing stress, and sometimes mental emotional health challenges. Sudden, fast, with interruptions, being torn, stressful, but it's to look ahead. It's focusing on the future. So when we see Uranus go direct at a Uranian degree in the sign of Taurus, things are going to start picking up in regards to the changes and the innovations, I believe, when it comes to food and banking. Okay, so these are going to be some big bombshell moments, I think, with Uranus going direct. Obviously, since September of 2024, we have seen Uranus retrograde in this sign. So you might want to look at your chart, look at where Taurus is. There has been a retrograde where you've been re-evaluating, reinventing, and maybe shaking something loose. Now, usually with Uranus retrograde, it's harder to see some of the shocks and the twists and the turns that might be happening. But when it goes direct, the planet is going to be in full capacity to be able to bring about these changes. So this is the last retrograde that we're going to see with Uranus and Taurus right now, before Uranus goes into Gemini, which will be happening in July later this year. On July the 7th, 2025, Uranus moves into the mutable air sign of Gemini, and we get a little bit of a sneak peek of what is to come in 2026. But for today, I want to talk a little bit about the connections other than just the new moon. You know, I've been kind of tracking and watching what's been going on with Venus. As many of you guys know, Venus is now in shadow, and she has been kind of nuzzled up next to Saturn and Neptune, which means there is some restrictions, some barriers, some blockages to love, intimacy, vulnerability, money, resources, all of that stuff. And she's now coming into conjunction with Neptune when Uranus goes direct. So that's also going to kind of flavor a little bit of these shocks and surprises that might be kind of coming. Now, Pisces deals with the collective energies. So I'm thinking about how this deals with the collective global markets, anything revolving around, other stock exchanges and global markets and trade. I think that this is somehow going to be kind of connected to Uranus and Taurus, which may be about bringing about ways to send and receive payments in a much quicker or electronic fashion. Now, with Venus being the dispositor, that means that it rules over Uranus. So we have to look at what's going on with Venus while Uranus is in this sign. Venus is connected also to the North Node. So with Venus, North Node, Neptune conjunction, it's pretty fair to say that it's up in the air. We don't really know where some of this global or economic trade stuff is going to go. Likely there's going to be something being revealed that is either going to shock and surprise everybody, unite everybody, connect everybody, or dissolve some things. Remember that Neptune is a planet that deals with dreams and illusions as well as spirituality. So with this combination, it really amplifies these themes. It's almost like adding a double dose of romance or fantasy to our lives. This can mean some of us are in la la land when it comes to the reality of our finances or our relationships, or maybe we're a little idealistic when it comes to our personal possessions or our values. But I think when Uranus goes direct, this is going to be bringing sudden opportunities for innovation and change. Taurus does not like being the host of Uranus. It likes to be kind of safe, stable, and secure. So really, I feel like it's going to shake things up revolving around what security means for us. Now, I'm anticipating, and we have seen since 2018, that there have definitely been some major kind of upheaval situations in the banking and financial world. This is when Uranus entered into the sign. And now as it hits 23 degrees, we're entering a phase where these changes are going to start to manifest more tangibly. So here's what I'm thinking we can expect. Number one, when we see a planet go direct, it means it's going from being retrograde to being in forward motion. So when it's in its retrograde phase, the energy is considered more introspective, and we're revisiting or revising, reworking something in that area of our life. So when a planet goes direct, it's like it comes back online, and we're going to see that there is forward motion and action in this area of our chart. Now, obviously, the themes are going to be associated both with the planet moving forward again, as well as some kind of resolutions from what's happened during the retrograde period. Now, we get the resolution as Uranus goes direct, and like I said, between now and July of this year, we're going to see Uranus in the third decan of Taurus. So we're going to see global changes with food, money, innovations. Obviously, retrogrades can delay things. So this can almost represent something that's been under pressure or under wraps, and then suddenly it's getting ready to pop or explode. So we can kind of see that, this has maybe brought about some challenges or delays previously. Now we're going to be redefining our approach to the Taurus area of our chart. And really it's about now integrating the lessons that we've experienced over the last several months. And I really feel like this is going to be something that's going to be very telling about the future of banking and finance, cryptocurrencies, inflation, and global markets. Obviously, Taurus also deals with like the physical world. So there can be some sense of people kind of like being shaken up with some things that are going on with the planet, or some things that can be going on with our banking system, our resources as well. And I think, Uranus and Taurus is about really bringing us to the forefront of really focusing on assets that are more so tangible for the future. when Uranus goes direct, we always see that there are changes and innovations that need to be implemented more efficiently. So you're going to want to look at that area of your chart and go, okay, what am I waking up to that needs to be revolutionized? Where am I moving forward? Where am I breaking free from some of these past patterns? And obviously now that Uranus is getting into the later degrees, we're wrapping up some kind of lesson of what we've been working on here since 2018. Now, collectively and personally, this is going to be different for everybody. You know, I think on a collective level, you know, having this planet go direct is definitely going to influence society's trends. We're also going to see major themes revolving around technology and maybe even policy revolving around money and banking. And on a personal level, I think it's an opportunity for individuals to really advance in areas where maybe you have felt stuck or confused while Uranus has been retrograde. Now, obviously, I've said financial systems, banking a lot, but specifically, I think we might see some groundbreaking changes in how we handle money, specifically transactions, you know, the energy that it takes to kind of transact, to do business, to get things kind of from here to there globally. And you're going to hear more talk about cryptocurrencies. As I've said in previous videos, I'm not a financial advisor, but for sure, we're going to see some big swings that are likely going to be happening relating to that market. If you guys have looked at the New York Stock Exchange chart, this is exactly where I believe Mercury is. So we've got the Sun and Mercury that are kind of nuzzled up next to each other, and you're going to see that there's going to be Uranus going direct in conjunction to those planets in the stock exchange chart. So I'm definitely expecting there to be some pretty significant things going on there. A lot of stuff can also be seen through the progress chart as well. I may talk about that in the future. But for right now, you know that there is this focus in kind of moving in a direction where there can be new economic models that focus on sustainability rather than just profit, right? For everybody to be able to be involved in accumulation of wealth, of resources, and having a better relationship to their financial situation. Now, there can also be environmental shifts that can happen. Obviously, Uranus is a planet that's associated with Aquarius, which is humanitarian causes. It's in an earth sign, which deals with resources and things like natural materials, gas, stuff kind of connected even to drilling or precious minerals or metals. So we could see some unexpected advancements that can be happening or a crisis relating to the environment, pushing for more radical solutions to some of these global shifts that we're having. In particular, I think it's going to be more about seismic activity, things that are going on with potentially earthquakes, stuff that's kind of going on with changes that are happening rapidly in some areas. Now, we're also going to see major shifts in values and lifestyle. I feel like people might feel a stronger urge to just live more authentically with Uranus direct. And I think that this is going to be about valuing experiences over possessions, leading to a cultural shift towards minimalism or a more eco kind of conscious living style. Now, look for technology and innovations in agriculture. This has been a pretty common theme with Uranus in this sign. Because Taurus rules over land, we could see breakthroughs in farming technology that's to be more sustainable. And we're going to hear a lot revolving around farmers as well as cattle and beef, because of the connection to Taurus, maybe even dairy farmers and stuff as well. We will see themes revolving around economic reform. I feel like there will be policies that might shift dramatically, pushing towards more community-based systems and kind of bringing people together and being able to focus on groups that can actually instigate and create change. Panels and experts that are going to be able to have diverse kind of belief systems and backgrounds to be able to contribute to fixing some of these problems. But Taurus is also connected to Venus, so this could also be about art and culture. Especially with Venus conjunct Neptune in the mix, there's the potential for art movements that are going to be blending technology with a strong spiritual or humanitarian message. So think like NFTs and things revolving around new forms of like digital art and anything in regards to beauty, trends, style trends, that kind of stuff is going to be definitely coming online as well. Now, just some notes that I have that I kind of put together very briefly. I do go through all of the 12 signs. I'll do that for you guys in a second. And I also touch on this during my February horoscopes. If you guys haven't seen those, you can check that out. But like I said, Venus is in shadow. So I think this is important, even though the Venus retrograde has not begun yet. It's a part of a bigger kind of storyline that's basically saying, okay, we're now going to be seeing Uranus go direct. We could see some kind of destabilizing things happening in the financial world. It may leave some people on edge going, well, what's going to happen? Or what are we going to do? Or what if we don't have support or resources? Or, where is this going to come from? Because Pisces is a sign that's invisible. It's things that we cannot see. And it's also directly connected to water. Pisces is connected to the sea. Taurus is connected to resources, things like drilling, but also it has a connection to building and agriculture. So we might see some kind of connection there where we're finding better ways to be able to build and develop and utilize spaces without impacting really sensitive ecosystems. Being more caring and compassionate also for those in need and trying to find ways to better balance this economic divide that we're seeing globally. With Venus being in shadow, she will go retrograde in March, and you'll see at the end of March and in April of 2025 that she will make this conjunction to Neptune and the North Node again. And Uranus will still be in Taurus then. So that's going to be kind of saying whatever is either being revealed or whatever is being dissolved is going to have a direct impact on the Uranus and Taurus transit. Now, Venus is also in a sextile to Uranus, which I think is really nice. This is kind of a dreamy aspect. Sextiles represent something that's like an easy, free-flowing kind of energy. It's like if you were to see, somebody whispering something to someone or giving them a handshake, that is kind of the aspect of the sextile. It's a really gentle kind of interaction. So with Venus and Neptune coming into conjunction, it can represent the dream team, the vision boards, the intuition, the dreams, and the things that we're kind of seeing and manifesting, and how that's able to kind of pave the way for some of the changes that we're going to be seeing with Uranus in Taurus. And Uranus is directly connected to Pluto in Aquarius as well, by the way. So even though you're not seeing an exact aspect other than the moon square Uranus, which is going to be some kind of shock and surprise, I think, for the masses, or, us waking up and realizing that if we really want to come together, if we want to see humanity evolve, we need to make some changes to how we are spending our money, what we're consuming, what we value, and that we may have conflicting or kind of like different views or perspectives on what it means to be healthy, what it means to be wealthy, what it means to be stable, what it means to be secure. And so squares are not comfortable energies. They do represent frustration. But when I talk specifically about Uranus, I'm thinking about how Uranus is connected to Pluto. So Pluto is now in Aquarius. It's been in Aquarius now since pretty much, November-ish of this last year. And Pluto is sitting at 2 degrees. So it's sitting in a Taurus degree. Okay, so it means that there's about to be a radical transformation of wealth, of power, of control, especially technology, and how technology is going to be influencing kind of the banking and the resource systems. Quite literally 2 degrees in degree astrology connects to wallets, okay, wallets. What you hold, what you have access to, and I think this is more so digitally. We might be hearing more also about this movement where there's going to be more adoption going on with banks in regards to cryptocurrencies as well. And I'm not for or against it in these videos. I think that it kind of speaks for itself when you look at some of the angles and the aspects and the degrees that are getting highlighted. Certainly Pluto can deal with crime. Pluto can also deal with taxes. So we're going to hear a lot more about, well, what's going on with cryptocurrencies? How are they being taxed? Unrealized gain tax, things revolving around also like investments and how that may potentially play out, and how we're going to see some really, I think, shocking things between now and June in regards to the influence of what mass adoption may potentially do for the banking system. And also, Uranus deals with freedom. So for people who say they want to exit the system, they don't want to fund wars, they're not for printing money, they don't want to see, their hard-earned cash continue to devaluate. People are looking for a next new digital thing that is going to be valuable. So it's really interesting to me to hear, conversations kind of shifting, revolving around, well, what is considered valuable in a digital asset, and how do you hold it, and how can it be spent, and how, do we handle it tax-wise? It's all just like quite literal in the astrology. So yeah, so you're going to see a lot of these themes basically between now and the summertime. And I just wanted to pop on here and create a quick video for you guys to remind you that this is the shakeup that's going to be happening just after the new moon. So Uranus will actually be stationing at the time of the new moon, which means it's getting ready to turn on. So I'm anticipating some wild ride type stuff that's going to be happening kind of the 30th on, due to Uranus going direct and also the moon square. A couple days later, you'll see the sun square, and I think we're kind of off to the races with what's potentially going to be a very wild ride in the markets in February of 2025. I was looking at, let me show it to you guys so you can kind of see what I was saying. And I'll probably talk about this, to be honest with you, during my Venus retrograde webinar that I'm putting together. But if you guys look at this, the Mercury of the New York Stock Exchange is 23 degrees, all right? And this is a chart that's ruled by the sun. So it's a Leo rising, sun in Taurus, and it's got the moon in Aries. And if you look at the transits of what's going on, you're going to see that the new moon, that's going to be in Aquarius, right here. The new moon is going to be taking place right along the descendant with Mercury. So I think it's going to have a lot of people talking about, okay, what's changing with the stock market? I wonder how that's going to be influenced based off of, you know, digital currencies and coins and all kinds of things, and how that's being impacted vice versa, right? Because we see some coins that follow the market. And then we're going to see it go direct the next day on the 30th, right on top of Mercury. And in this chart, Mercury is the ruler of the second house of money, okay? So this is the last hit. Uranus will actually retrograde again. It'll retrograde back into Taurus briefly, and then 2026, it'll fully be in Gemini. But I think with Uranus going direct right on top of Mercury, and Mercury being now the dispositor of the South Node, and the South Node is in the second house of money, potentially is signaling that we're going to see some pretty wild dips and potentially even some losses, just kind of analyzing the chart. And then taking it a step further, you know, then you're going to see Uranus coming into conjunction in a couple short weeks with the sun in Taurus again. So it looks like that's going to be happening closer to the month of May, which is really going to shake up this chart with some of the squares that are going to be happening between Mars and Uranus, literally going haywire. It could be outrageous highs, okay? Because Uranus is kind of like peaks and values. It goes up and down. Not as optimistic with eclipses that are going to be happening in, in March, and retrogrades that are going to be happening in the 8th house, which obviously does kind of signal that there is going to be some losses. This is what I'm talking about right here. So we're going to see a lunar eclipse in the second house, very close to Mars, okay? And then we're going to see the ruler of this eclipse getting ready to turn retrograde over the South Node, and then into the 8th house. So Uranus going direct at the end of January, you know, can symbolize that there's about to be a bunch of new things that are going to be implemented with the banking systems, changes going on with things. We're going to see some shifts happening globally, and it's leading us into February and March. And when I look at what's going to happen here, where the second house ruler Mercury and Venus, which is money, and the 10th house lord, will be retrograding over the South Node. There will actually be a Venus cazimi on the South Node. I am predicting that it may be wild in February, but then we're getting into like March. It is not looking so good in this chart, in my opinion, okay? In my opinion. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm anticipating that March pretty much through May is when you're going to see some of the mayhem that's going on. Could it happen earlier? Certainly it could. Even in this progressed chart, it's saying a lot of the same things. So I was also looking at these secondary progressions. There we go. Was it the secondary or was it the solar arc? No, it was the solar arc. Hold on. I use a couple different progression methods, but the solar arc directions, here we go. Sorry, guys. The solar arc directions was what I was looking at. My eyes got really big when I was looking at this. Look at this. So look at the ascendant on this chart. Pisces rising, 29 degrees. We've also got in this chart the ruler of the second house is fallen. So we're having some issues with Mars being there. And the retrograde that's coming in March is going to be right over the ascendant. Okay, so March into April, Venus and Mercury are retrograding. So we're going to see retrogrades from Aries back into Pisces, and it's going to go right over the ascendant. 29 degrees is the last degree. So the most crazy, the most secretive, the most, oh my God, something is melting down, something is dissolving. It also corresponds with some of the transits that are going to be happening in March into April. Specifically, I'm looking at when planets are hitting around that 28, 29 degree. So if you notice, Venus will retrograde back. It'll hit that degree with Neptune right around the end of March. And then we're going to see Mercury retrograde back. It's going to hit Neptune right at the end of March. So we're looking at the 27th through the beginning of April is when it looks like there is going to be possibly something that is just hopelessly and gloriously melting down. And at the same time, look at this, the ascendant is going to change signs. So the solar arc goes from 29 in mid-March to, it looks like right around March 20th, the ascendant is going to go into 0 degrees of Aries, which will then now be a chart that's going to be ruled by Mars, which is in Taurus, and it's at a 7. So there's going to be some changes going on revolving around financial partnerships, relationships, you know, what's buying, selling, investing. And like I said, Mars does not do very well in that particular sign. So 0 degrees of Aries, we know, is when there is a new beginning. So I look at this and I'm like, something is going to be happening the 3rd week of March that is going to be dissolving, rolling things back. The ascendant is going to then shift to 0 degrees of Aries, and it's going to be, I think, particularly wild. And I'm not as optimistic, I think, as some other people might potentially be about some of the retrogrades and the eclipses in the spring. I welcome your thoughts. I'd love to hear from other people if you guys have been looking at these charts, but I think it's going to be particularly wild. So let me show you now where this is going to be taking place for each and every one of the rising signs. Obviously, I am going to show you guys this from the perspective of the tropical Western zodiac. I'm going to be looking at Uranus going direct for each and every one of you guys. Let me move this along to the 30th. There you go. And let's see, what else? Listen for your rising sign first to see where Uranus going direct is going to be happening. That particular house is where I think you're going to be kind of seeing this like speeding up and this wake up call of a sudden change or relationship to those themes. As always, my Taurus sun, moon, and risings, particularly anything from about 22 to 25 degrees. Be mindful if you have planets there, you're under Uranus transit. 22 to 25 degrees of the fixed signs, you're going to be feeling the squares or the oppositions. Probably easiest for the earth signs because you'll be experiencing some trines, and water signs will benefit from this as well, especially Pisces and my Cancer risings. You can listen to your sun and your moon sign also. I just find that the ascendant sign is going to be a little bit more bang on with what's actually happening, but certainly some of you guys might have some pretty significant takeaways by listening to your sun or your moon sign as well, okay? And if you're using a Placidus chart, if you're a Placidus user, just look for where 23 or 24 degrees is in your chart. You may have to listen to another rising sign to kind of get the correct correlation. And that's pretty much it. So let's get right into it by talking about Uranus direct. We're going to start with Aries and Aries rising. What's going on, Aries? How you doing? Well, you're getting ready to see Uranus turn direct, and it's going to be happening for you in your second house of income, resources, values, spending power, and personal style. Uranus is connected to your 11th house where Pluto is, okay? So there's some themes here revolving around your goals, income derivative from work, things revolving around friends, groups, communities. So I think the effects of Uranus going direct for you, Aries, is really about your values. And it's going to be about, you know, this continuation of shaking something up when it comes to your material world. I predict that there might be sudden changes in your income sources, perhaps through innovative work or technology. This is possible. And you might feel a push towards valuing freedom or uniqueness over traditional security. Let me know how this goes for you, Aries. I'd love to hear more. All right, so we have got, let's switch this to the hour chart. There we go. So we have got Taurus and Taurus rising. You guys are kind of the stars of the show here. How are you guys doing with your Uranus transit? You guys feel like you stuck your finger in a light socket? You might after this one with it going direct, but you're kind of in the last stretch. So Uranus is waking up in your sign, and if you're a Taurus rising, it's waking up in your first house. So you just might notice that jolt of having a little bit more energy, or just feeling that need for freedom, or wanting to kind of just stand out a little bit more. As Uranus transits your first house, this is all about yourself, your identity, and your appearance. So you're in the midst of some kind of personal revolution of some kind, and that can be about how you carry yourself, how you dress, how you look. Obviously, themes revolving around your nervous system can be coming up with Uranus in the first house, so be mindful of that. But Uranus is connected to your 10th house of career, reputation, and your professional life, right? You being visible out in the world. And it's also connected to Pluto, which is in the 10th house. So it does seem to symbolize that there is some big breakthrough that you are kind of gearing up for when it comes to your status out in the world. And whether that's just, I'm married, I'm divorced, I'm an employee, I'm a CEO, you know, I'm working, I'm retired, something like that is changing, or maybe you're just changing altogether the direction that you're going in when it comes to how you want people to know you. So, you know, I'm predicting that you may change your look, your lifestyle, or how you present yourself to the world. But whatever you do, I recommend, whether it's just you or in regards to your career, that you are embracing unpredictability in your personal expression. Throw people a few curveballs. Don't let them kind of pin you down. Don't feel like you need to be labeled as one particular thing or another, and continue the process of this evolution. All right, we've got Gemini and Gemini rising. What's up, Gemini? How's it going? Hang out with the Taurus rising. They're going to get you ready for this transit. Uranus is still kind of going through your 12th house. So this is like a little bit more subtle. It's a little bit more private. Obviously, you know, the effects of Uranus in your 12th house basically means that it's been leading to some subconscious upheavals, maybe even some spiritual awakenings, some precognitive dreams. Uranus is directly connected to your 9th house, where Pluto is right now as well. And the 9th house is higher education, traveling in a foreign land, business with people in other places, teaching, learning, publishing, legal matters, and also just your belief about the world. So, you know, some of the stuff that you're watching going on in the world, it's really shifting something about your belief or your spirituality. I predict that you could experience some sudden insights and possibly even need solitude to kind of process some of the changes that are happening in your life right now. Definitely watch with Uranus going direct. There can be some very vivid dreams and some things that can be happening that can be incredibly symbolic and helpful for you when it comes to figuring out where you're going, how the world works, and what you believe in. All right, we've got Cancer and Cancer rising. What's up, Cancer? You guys are going to experience Uranus going direct in the sign of Taurus in your 11th house. Well, Uranus likes being in this house. It does well. It's great for, you know, connections and community. It's directly connected to all of this Aquarius energy and Pluto that is in your 8th house of change and transformation. So for my Cancer risings, you know, the effect of having Uranus in your 11th house is it really just electrifies and wakes up your social circles. It really wakes you up to future goals and some major turning point or transformation when it comes to your financial goals here as well. I'm predicting for you that there could be new friends or groups that are entering your life now. You could be joining new networks. You could be going and connecting with new people, especially people who are interested in learning about finance, cooking, gardening, you know, herbalism, anything like that. And I think that your long-term aspirations are shifting and they're becoming more innovative or focused on how you can help groups or other people. All right, so we've got Leo and Leo rising. What's up, Leo? You're going to be experiencing the Uranus going direct, and this will be happening in Taurus in your natal 10th house of career, work, and reputation. Now, obviously, for the fixed signs, right? Taurus, it's very personal. For you, it's more in regards to your career, who you partner with, who you're working with, and it is in a very visible part of your skies. Really what this means is that there's something that's getting ready to come online when it comes to some kind of either professional or personal shift. Now, if you happen to have anything, you know, 22 to 25 of Leo, you're going to feel this square. And Uranus is directly connected to your 7th house of one-on-one relationships, clients, business partners, romantic partners, marriage partners, and spouses. Truth be told, I think that with Pluto entering into your 7th house, there being a lot of energy there, there is a new beginning that's kind of coming out when it comes to your relationships. And whether that means you're working with new people, you've got new clients, you're offering new services, maybe you want to make new friends, maybe you want to just start dating again, or there's been some dramatic change or shift in a relationship recently, and now that's getting ready to become like more public. The 7th and the 10th house are very visible houses. So, I really feel like for you, this is about experiencing some kind of sudden change in your career. For some of you guys, it could possibly be about shifting into a more unconventional or independent path. So like working for yourself, starting your own business. And it can also be about your reputation undergoing some kind of significant liberating transformation. So if you've been in a difficult kind of friendship or romantic state, or maybe even a difficult state when it comes to a one-on-one, business relationship, you're breaking free from that. So some of you guys might say, I don't want to work for this company anymore. I want to go solo. I don't want to work with this partner. And that's part of what's potentially shifting and kind of coming online. Also, so much about your private life in terms of committed relationships can become public with this aspect. So keep mindful of that. All right, we've got Virgo and Virgo rising. What's up, Virgo? You've got Uranus going direct in Taurus, and if you happen to have anything 22 to 25 degrees of Virgo, it's friendly, right? You'll be experiencing a trine. So Uranus is moving through your 9th house, which deals with belief, legality, publishing, higher education, travel, advertising, legal stuff. So Uranus waking up there is directly connected and correlated to your 6th house. And Pluto is in the 6th house. You will have just had a new moon in the 6th house. So there is definitely some major change on the horizon revolving around, I think, your schedule, your day-to-day routine, what you are doing in regards to your health and productivity. So it's kind of saying like, okay, are you focused on changing or transforming your workspace, your health, your habits, even your schedule to make time for travel, or to make time to go back to school, or to make time to, go and finally, finish a degree, or finish publishing a book or something like that. This could also mean that you're just making time for, kind of some diversity in regards to your schedule as well. So some of you guys, I predict, might be, experiencing some challenges in some of these areas, but I think that you might suddenly decide that you're going to shift gears and go, you know what, I'm going to change my schedule. I'm going to study something new, or I'm going to travel to a really, new, unconventional, place, and that your philosophical outlook on life might change dramatically. Make time for travel. That's definitely a good thing that you guys could be doing, or education. All right, we've got Libra and Libra rising. What's up, Libra? You've got Uranus going direct in Taurus in your natal 8th house. And obviously the 8th house can be the spooky one. This is the one that deals with all of the shadow monsters in the closet. Uranus in the 8th house is really dealing with major changes going on with your shared resources, intimacy, and transformation. This can also be about insurance matters, inheritance themes, stuff kind of connected to psychological stuff that's shifting, and breakthroughs that you can be having in therapy. Now, Uranus is connected to the 5th house, where Pluto and all these planets are in Aquarius. So it's kind of highlighting breakthroughs in regards to children, romance, self-expression, having fun, and how that's impacting your joint resources, how that's impacting you psychologically. I do think that I predict for you guys, financial partnerships or inheritance situations could change unexpectedly. Insurance themes could change unexpectedly. There could be breakthroughs in psychological or sexual manners, and there could also be major shifts revolving around how you create, or what you love, and how that can actually positively impact money flow that can be coming your way. This can also include investments as well. All right, so we've got Scorpio and Scorpio rising. What's going on, Scorpio? Are you guys ready for this? Uranus going direct in your opposite sign. Obviously, if you're a Scorpio, anywhere between 22 and 25 degrees, be mindful that you are under a Uranus opposition, and you might feel like you don't know what you're going to get when it comes to other people. lots of ups and downs and shocks and surprises going on in regards to your one-on-one relationships or committed partnerships. You know, very interesting stuff here, Scorpio. I really feel like, obviously, Uranus having gone through your seventh house since 2018 means that there's been so much changing in your love life, but you're actually getting ready to wrap this transit up pretty soon. And so usually when Uranus is leaving a house, you'll see that relationship things stabilize or somebody comes in that kind of sticks around. So there is kind of a light at the end of the tunnel here. Now, Uranus is dealing with your fourth house, so it has a connection to Pluto, your chart ruler, being in the fourth house, which means there's some change that's kind of going on internally, emotionally, with your family, with your home or your living situation. For some of you guys, you want to radically transform your home, or you're dealing with a crisis in regards to a family member, or just really potentially having to kind of dig out all of like the family drama with both hands. So I'm predicting that relationships are going to shake up. You're going to see that happen. It doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be a bad thing. It might boot some relationships that are not meant to stay, but it can also suddenly bring new ones in. This is also good for your marketplace as well as clients. Now, I'm predicting that you might attract or seek out unique, non-traditional partnerships, and existing relationships could demand more freedom or change, especially when it comes to the home or the living situation. Watch for some tension that can happen about domestic matters with relationships or with family members. We've got Sag and Sag rising. What's going on, Sag? You're going to be experiencing Uranus direct in Taurus in your natal 6th house. All right, Sagittarius, well, your 6th house obviously is all about your health, your habits, your office space, and your daily routine, maybe even your pets or your coworkers. But don't forget about your health here as well. The 6th house is definitely going to be about your health, and health matters. You know, I see Uranus going through this house where, you know, if it's been impacting your health, your work routine, or your daily life, now you're learning just to kind of go with the flow. Some of you guys have been learning to have a more flexible schedule or being more open to new innovative ways of treating yourself health-wise, like herbalism, working with, you know, naturopaths and things like that. Uranus is directly connected to your 3rd house, which is all about communication, siblings, you know, traveling, gadgets, all of that stuff. So when I put it together and I look at what's kind of happening with some of these transits, I really feel like there has been this shift emotionally, and also I think maybe psychologically, with Pluto going into your 3rd house, with how you communicate, how you express fear, how you get the point across with other people. This can also be about major changes going on with moves or even siblings, and how that's impacting your day-to-day life or influencing your health. Now, I'm predicting for you guys that there can be sudden changes in your job or in your health routine. You might innovate your work environment, or you might be focusing on wellness practices. Just watch for the curveballs, because it does look like there is going to be some need to kind of shift either things revolving around your health or your schedule. And it's all about how you communicate and also implement new systems or technology to better kind of navigate these changes. We've got Capricorn and Capricorn rising. What's up, Capricorn? You've got Uranus going direct in the sign of Taurus, fellow sister Earth sign. So if you're like 22 to 25 degrees Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or rising, you're going to be benefiting from this, actually. The Uranus trines can shake things up in a good way, and it can also maybe feel a little less stuffy. Also got some nice kind of sextile action that's going on with Saturn. So there is some support to your chart ruler during this transit. Now, the 5th house is a fun house. This is always about creativity, romance, dating, self-expression, self-employment, taking chances. So certainly Uranus turning online can mean that there can be some excitement in these areas of your life. And Uranus is directly connected to all these planets in Aquarius, including Pluto, that just moved into your 2nd house of money, resources, spending power, and self-esteem. So this kind of tells me that you may be investing more of yourself, more of your energy, more of your talent, your resources into children, having fun, creating, right? Taking chances, investing. Anything speculative could be the 5th house. I really think that it's really possible for some of you guys to have surprises. Uranus is the planet of surprises. So you meet somebody and surprisingly quickly fall in love. There's lots of exciting news happening with your children. There's some exciting things going on with your stock portfolio. You unexpectedly find out that you're pregnant, right? these things can happen. I really think that your creative expression also might take an unexpected and innovative turn, and that you're going to be investing more into things that are going to make you feel happy and productive and stable. All right, we got Aquarius and Aquarius rising. I want to hear from you guys about this. This is an interesting transit. So you've got Uranus, one of your chart rulers, getting ready to go direct in Taurus in your natal 4th house of home, family, roots, and anything connected to real estate property. Now, what's funny is that it's not funny. You know, Uranus has probably been a bit of a pain in the butt, honestly, with some weird and wacky things happening with your family, moves, changes with electricity in the home, you know, shocks and surprises and secrets kind of coming out. But this is connected directly to all of these planets in Aquarius, including Pluto, that just went into your sign. So on one hand, you know, you are Uranus. Uranus going direct is like, boom, you know what? I suddenly decided I want to move, or we're rearranging furniture, or we're changing the wallpaper, or we're moving. But it could also mean that, you know, there are some things from the past that are getting sorted out that you are working through with home, family, property matters. And like now it is somehow connected to how you are changing and transforming as a person. It'll be interesting to watch the Sun, Mercury come into a square with Uranus, because I really feel like for a lot of Aquarians, you guys are going to go, that's it, out with the old, in with the new, you know, new me, new place, new home, or feeling some kind of resistance maybe to being settled. I'm predicting for you guys that, you know, you might move suddenly, you might decide to renovate or change your living situation, and definitely family roles in the home life can become more unconventional. So you can see themes like, okay, you know what, moving in with family, family's moving in with us, or, you know, husband's, you know, going to be staying home with the family, I'm going to be going to work type stuff, or that you're deciding that you want to have some kind of communal living situation, or that you've had enough of it and you're ready to kind of go out on your own. And finally, we've got the Pisces and Pisces risings. You guys are going to be experiencing Uranus going direct in the sign of Taurus. This will be happening in your natal 3rd house. For you guys, this is a house that deals with communication, local travel, your community, vehicles, as well as siblings. Now, Uranus is directly connected to all of these planets, including Pluto, that have just recently moved into Aquarius in your 12th house, which is more subconscious, private, spiritual, intuitive. And I think that the connection with Uranus in your 12th house, you know, connected to the 12th house, going direct in the 3rd, is really going to be about experiencing sudden trips or unexpected trips that were planned, surprise trips, new ways of thinking, changes in your immediate environment, sibling relationships might shift. Unexpected electrical things with vehicles can be happening, but also it can be deeply introspective and lots of breakthroughs in regards to dream interpretation, divination, or potentially even doing some journaling. I'm also liking the fact that it is in a sextile to Saturn in your sign. So you are seeing that if you are kind of lost or confused or questioning things personally, maybe this means that you're doing some research, you're learning about astrology, you're getting involved in divination, and you're trying to take time to pause and reflect. So that way you can kind of better navigate traveling, moves, or communication with other people. Now, obviously, this is going to be a wild ride for everybody as we see Uranus kind of tear through the last bit of Taurus. Remember, this is all about being adaptable. Try to be adaptable as possible. I think each rising sign should honestly prepare for sudden changes in the areas that I've mentioned. And obviously, Taurus is not a very flexible sign. With squares coming from Aquarius to Taurus, it's really telling us that it's really time to break free from traditional norms. And this is going to be about really promoting flexibility and being open to new ways of being. This is going to require innovation. So, you know, there's this overarching theme of innovation and breaking free with Uranus and Taurus. And I think it's encouraging us to kind of find our own unique solution to some of the challenges and the problems that we've been experiencing in recent years. Know that this is a transit that will have a long-term impact because it's in the late degrees of Taurus, and because this is the last go-round before Uranus moves into Gemini. This is not just about immediate changes. This is about how things suddenly come up, and it's really prompting us to kind of stage long-term shifts in consciousness and how we approach our finances. But let me know, what are you guys experiencing? What do you think? What are you feeling? Where are these aspects taking place in your chart? I'd love to hear more. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and consider sharing it with other astro friends. I hope this video helps you guys in the weeks ahead. I can't wait to see how it plays out after the new moon. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will catch you guys all back here very soon. Take care.